Hey guys, so I haven't done an update in ages, but I think this started for me now. Um, wow. Coming up 5 years ago, okay? So migraines, vestibular migraines run in my family. My mum got them at 33, 34. This video is about how I got better. So to let you know where I was with it, I had spin outs for about a year or two where not full on vertigo, but where I walk down the street and everything moves. In the early days, I was completely bedridden. It took me about 2 years to walk properly again. When I mean walk properly, for me, that was walking at the time just for 15 minutes and managing to walk 15, 20 minutes before everything got really dizzy and crazy, okay? So it took me about 2 years to train myself to walk properly again. Um, I was really sick, really, 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 really sick. At times, I couldn't hold myself up. I couldn't walk at all. I could not walk at all. I had to crawl up the stairs. I couldn't wash my hair. I was just lifting my hands above my head. I was too exhausted. I couldn't see properly for about 2.5 years. Seriously, like, and when I mean see properly, I mean everything's moving and everything's I look in the distance and the horizon's moving and I feel like I'm moving and I feel like my feet are dropping through the floor. I could not see clearly, I could not focus for a long time. A long, 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 long time. And at my very worst, I honestly did not want to be here. I went through like really bad depression where I had to see a counsellor because I'm like, I had enough. I will not live through this if I have to be like this every single day. I've had enough. I've had enough. I don't want to do it anymore. So that's how bad it got. Obviously, really severe. To let you know where I am now, I'm working two jobs. So I'm working full time in a school. I'm also a learning support worker. So I have a girl with extreme like medical needs, catheter, the lot. Very full on every hour. She needs some kind of medical needs. I'm also a TA teaching groups of 15, 16 children. I have 3 or 4 tasks an hour. It's the most full on job I've ever done. So far, it's 6 months I've been doing it for. And I also come home and have an online business as well. So that's two jobs I'm doing. So to go from not being able to walk to doing two jobs is completely nuts. I can also go out every weekend. I can usually Friday night now. I can go dancing. I can go clubbing. I can go out for drinks. I can go out for meals. I don't notice the dizziness nearly most of the time. The only time I get dizziness now is if I'm in another classroom and it's extremely noisy. Noise is a massive trigger and stress, okay? So if the kids are really screaming and I have that in my ear for a long time, I start to get dizzy. Like today I'm a bit off. But overall, that's where I am now. I do want to go probably down to 3 days a week because I found it's easier for me to do 3 days a week in a very intense environment like that and do 2 days from home. That's my aim for the future. But to let you know, I'm obviously working full time. I have two jobs at the moment. I go out, I dance, I can eat, I can drink, I can do pretty much what I want. I'm on no medication. So that's where I am. Now, quickly, the biggest things that got me better, there's a medication called Stemetel, which took the edge of my dizziness. It didn't get rid of it at all, okay? It would take the edge off, just the edge off. So I relied on that a lot in the early days. I tried a lot of medication, but nothing really worked for me when it came to dizziness. The main thing that worked for me was walking every single day when I could, and vestibular exercises after a time. A lot of people give up on vestibular exercises because when you're completely dizzy and off your face, dizzy, it's almost impossible to do vestibular exercises. You feel worse. So in my case, I found it easier for me to walk for about 6, 7 months, 6, 7 months, and then I started to introduce vestibular exercises slowly. When I was bedridden with the room spinning, it's completely ridiculous to think about doing a vestibular exercise because it's exhausting. So go careful with it and speak to your doctor and see when is the right time for you to do it. Don't just launch into it because it's exhausting and it can make you feel worse to begin with, okay? But I would say walking got me where I am now. Not medication. I came off medication. I tried so many different medications, it's unbelievable. It's on my website, okay? So literally people say, how did you get to where you are now? It was literally walking every single day. That's the only thing I can honestly say is walking, okay? Now, what are my triggers now to this day? My triggers would be stress is number one. Noise would be number two. Three would probably be lights. Actually, I would say probably stress, lights, noise. They're my top three triggers, okay? So if you can imagine being in a school, you've got the bright lights, which I wear special glasses for, computer glasses, it takes the edge off. Stress, it's a very stressful day today, and it was very noisy, so I'm a bit off today. But I find out now I don't relapse like I used to. I might have a day or two of burnout where I'm really exhausted, and it usually kicks in at the 5 week mark of being full-time at the school. After around 5 weeks, I feel really tired. I might need like a break for 3 days, and then I'm back on, and then I can work through it. So that's where I am now. I don't think I could go back to being full-time on computers because my vision is still not great. It's in how to explain it. When I walk outside, I don't notice any dizziness, literally. When I mean my vision is bad, I mean to stare at a bright screen for a long time with the scrolling for 8 hours a day. It's too much for my eyes. So I wouldn't go back to an office job, and that's been difficult when it comes to pay, you know. Because you probably know already, you don't really get any support for this. You usually get turned down. I got turned down on ESA because I could like lift my hand above my head when I was at my worst. And I'm like, how does that account for me working 8 hours a day? Because I can do that, I fail. How does that even make sense? ESA needs to be completely gone over, to be honest. It's the biggest joke ever. It's the biggest joke. When you see people like getting through the system, and then you have someone that's got like vertigo, dizziness, can't see properly, can't walk properly, pretty much bedridden, can't leave the house for months on end, and they're not getting support. So it pisses me off, guys. So if you're there now, it pisses me off, it makes me angry. I wish we could change that. I really wish we could change that. So yeah, but otherwise, guys, walking is my biggest thing to get back to normal. Okay, very small distances at first. I did that for about 6 months, then I went on to vestibular exercises, and that's how I got back to where I am now. I can't believe where I am now, actually, because I can't actually believe I'm supporting myself. You've no idea. Oh, wow. Yeah, to think that I have got a roof over my head. I have got money coming in to support myself. I can make rent. It's a miracle. It's a miracle where I am now. I still need to get further, obviously, guys. I want to get a nicer place. Currently I live with 4 or 5 people, but God, compared to being on the streets, I'm very grateful for where I am now. So yeah, if you want any more information about my, I've got so much info, guys. Just look at my other YouTube videos, and I've also got a website. When you land on my website, it's a social media website. Nothing to do with migraines. So just look at the very top, and it will say migraine, and then you can find all my migraine articles. They're kind of hidden within my website. But that's it. I'm gonna go. That's my update. I'm doing 2 full-time jobs. I'm going out regularly on weekends. I'm seeing friends. I'm going out for dinners when I can. Went to the cinema last night. Massive widescreen. Absolutely fine. I'm pretty much living a normal life, okay? I'm always going to burn out. I'd say full-time job, 5 weeks. If it's a very intense, stressful environment, it will burn me out. But then I somehow am getting back on my feet and going back into it after 2 or 3 days. And touch wood, I have not had a relapse. Oh, I hate saying that in case it happens again. But I have not had a major relapse since I was bedridden 4.5 years ago. And that's it. And I'm going to go. So, bye. Bye. Stay strong.